Welcome back. I am Cloud2K, and this is the Cloud Report. So today it's a very, very special Cloud Report because today is Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, however you celebrate it, doesn't matter to me. I hope you guys have a fantastic, fantastic day. We have a long slate of NBA games today, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. The New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs, the first time Victor Wembanyama has played on Christmas Day, and I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty damn good game. He's had, 25 points, eight blocks in consecutive games. So, I mean, he might keep it going. Today, you guys saw the title. I want to talk about the NBA ratings, right? Especially because Christmas Day, a lot of people have been speculating that this year's Christmas Day games aren't very good, and I disagree. I enjoy watching pretty much every team play, so really no matter who it is, I'm going to enjoy watching them play. But the NFL has also picked up some Christmas Day games, so the NBA now has to compete with the NFL, which they're going to lose viewers to. The NFL is still the king of sports in America. They're going to lose viewers to it. Unfortunately, it's what's going to happen. But there's been a lot of discourse the past couple years, and really a lot this season about the NBA ratings being really, really far down. Viewership down 19% from this time last year across ABC, ESPN, and TNT, and down 25% with NBA TV included per sports media. And a lot of people were talking about the 3-point line. A lot of people were taking threes. It's, they're averaging 35.7 threes a game, which is more than 15 more than a decade ago. So basically, in 2013, 2014, people were averaging about 22, 23 three-pointers a game. Now it's 37, almost 38 three-pointers a game. And I understand for a lot of people, they don't like the amount of three-point shots that are being taken. And I get it. Sometimes it can be frustrating. There's sometimes I watch a game and I'm like, man, I feel like we're just constantly, it's 3 offensive rebound, 3 offensive rebound, 3. It either goes in, they miss again, and there's a defensive rebound, and the possession's over, and there's threes being taken within the first 5-6 seconds of the shot clock. And I understand for some people that can be very, very frustrating. Even to me, sometimes it is very, very frustrating. But I think one of the biggest things is that a lot of people, and I've seen some other YouTubers talk about this, and it's kind of part of the reason I went to say it. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding that while, yes, the NBA, I do think in some portion is losing some viewers with this type of basketball being played. I think there's a lot of other factors into why the viewership is down, and some of it's not even people not watching the sport anymore. It's they're moving to different avenues to watch their sport. One of the biggest thing right now is illegal streams. Why would people pay for NBA League Pass if you black out their local teams and the games that are on national TV you cannot watch on League Pass? They can watch any game they want on these illegal stream sites, so they go to that. Like I said, especially people that don't have any money, kids that don't have the money, they're not going to pay for it. They're just going to go to these illegal streaming sites. They're going to watch the games for free there, and it is going to be what it is. Another part of it is that the NBA media world is probably bigger and more extensive than any other mainstream sport. Now, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. But when you think about it, the NFL, a lot of people watch the games on Sundays, on Thursdays, on Monday nights. Soccer, people watch those games live, and so boxing, these big matches. But the NBA is one of these sports that, yes, a lot of people watch it, but there's so many content creators out there making content about the game. There's so many TikToks, there's so many YouTube shorts now. There's so many ways you can consume basketball without actually having watched basketball. I mean, if you watch me, I'm sure there's some of you guys that watch me that don't really watch NBA games. You listen to me because, I watch the games, or for the most part. I try my best to watch as many games as possible, and I give my opinions on things, and you listen to my opinion, you're like, okay, I agree, or I disagree, and I appreciate all of you that watch. It really is amazing that anybody watches me talk about basketball, but there's genuinely some of you guys that watch me that don't watch NBA games. You just listen to what my opinion is, and you either agree with my opinion, you disagree with my opinion, or you use my opinion and you compare my opinion to somebody else's opinion. Like obviously Kenny Beecham, we all know he's pretty much one of the biggest faces in the NBA media right now, especially you two. You listen to my opinion, you compare it to his, you kind of formulate your own opinion with it, and then you go from there. You know what I mean? Now your opinion is now kind of a mashup of other people's opinions. It can be a little weary sometimes that way because there's definitely times where you can see people talk about basketball and you're like, oh, you don't actually watch basketball, you just kind of listen to talking heads. And again, even me, like, I have a full-time job. This YouTube is not my full-time job, so I have a full-time job. I cannot stay up and watch every single one of these games. It's just not a possibility for me. So I watch as many games as I can, but especially now with League Pass, I go back and I can watch games. I use websites to kind of track data that way. I watch other content creators, listen to what they have to say about basketball, listen to what they have to say about all these different things, and I formulate my opinion between watching games, looking at stats, listening to podcasts, listening to other YouTube channels. Like, I try to get multiple opinions into what I'm saying to then I kind of put it all together and then give out to you guys. So, I mean, some people might not like that because it's like, listen, for some people that do this as a full-time job, you can sit around, you can watch basketball all day, every day, you can be checking stuff, blah, blah, blah. I just don't have the time for it, unfortunately. You know, hopefully in some time I get to the point where I can do this full-time. And, you know, I think I could probably give better opinions on things, more detailed opinions on things the more I watch. But that's just kind of the way the game is now. And like I said, the NBA ratings being down, I think technically is a bad thing. But in all honesty, I think people are just getting their opinions from other places, especially because they just signed their new CBA deal, the biggest in history. So it's like the NBA is still making them. The NBA is not a failing league by any means. Now, I think if this continues going this way for years and years to come, maybe then it starts to become an issue. Maybe you then look at it, it's like, okay, people are genuinely just not going to games anymore. People are not watching games anymore. It's a lot of just like Twitter talk. Twitter talk, it's a whole nother conversation. But it's a lot of people like just giving these hot takes, these engagement farming opinions, and you start really losing out on the game of basketball itself. Then it becomes really, really a big problem because, listen, I don't condone negativity. I try to spread negativity. I try my best to spread positivity on my channel because, you know, I am truly in belief of the Kenny has that brain to enjoy basketball. I am fully into that. I think we should enjoy basketball for what it is. He put out a tweet, I guess as you're reading it, was Monday night, as you're watching this on Wednesday. Monday night he put out a tweet saying, I'm so over Embiid when Embiid got the double text, got the injection. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about whether or not he deserved the ejection or not. I'm not here to speak on that at all. Like, if you think he deserved it, okay. If you don't think he deserved it, okay. I'm not going to give my opinion on anything like that. What we saw was this man get personally attacked, which is already kind of a weird thing to do over a basketball opinion. Then we saw this man's wife, his daughter, be brought into these talks on Twitter where they're showing off pictures of his wife, his picture of his daughter, like, oh, like they're ugly, they're whatever. They're talking really crazy on Kenny's family. And there was even some people saying that he got doxxed. I never saw any like pictures of his house. Some people were saying it's not true. Some people were saying it's are true. I don't know. I didn't see any of those, so I can't speak on that. But it's kind of nuts to me that somebody just making a tweet as simple as I'm over Embiid, and he even clarified in the tweet it's not about the ejection. It's about the way he just kind of carried himself and the way he kind of went after the female ref, and that they need him badly to win games. If they want to be a championship team, they need Joel Embiid to be healthy, which is fully the truth. But it's just absolutely wild to me that something like that could then turn into this man's entire personal life being attacked, people throwing threats at him. It's just, NBA Twitter is an awful place right now. Twitter in general is an awful place after somebody bought it a little bit ago. It's really kind of taken a downturn. But again, that's a whole other thing. The NBA ratings, it's kind of a big deal. Men's and women's college basketball ratings are down 21% and 38% for women's. A lot of that's because a lot of people were really bought in on Caitlin Clark, and now Caitlin Clark's in the WNBA. They're not watching as much, but Juju Watkins is fantastic. You should definitely go check her out if you're a big Caitlin Clark fan, or just watch women's basketball in general. It gets a bad rep, but it's genuinely can be very good basketball. The NHL is also down 28%. I don't watch the NHL, so I don't really have anything to speak about on that. I don't think it's a problem right now. It could be a problem if it continues for some years down the line. But people, it's the new age. A lot of people don't pay for cable anymore. I don't have cable. There's no point of having cable. The NBA is still being consumed. It's just being consumed in like a much different way. The NFL, I think, is very soon going to follow suit. A lot of people there's a lot of Madden content creators, a lot of football content creators. I think in a sense, maybe not as much as the NBA, but in a sense, the NFL is going to start having the same problem where they're going to start losing their audience to like other ways of, like they start doing the Apple, the Netflix. It's going to start pulling people away from watching these games because they have to subscribe to this site, subscribe to this site, subscribe to that site just to watch their favorite team play. And then God forbid, certain teams like the Denver Nuggets, if you live in Denver without an antenna, you cannot watch them play. I am in the region of like Philadelphia, the Wizards and the 76ers are like technically my local teams. I pretty much can't watch them on League Pass. And I don't have cable. So I have to go on these sites just to watch these couple teams play because it's just not available for me. Now, Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, I'm pretty sure has been doing a thing where if you ask him, he will send out an antenna so that you can watch the Suns games for free. So shout out Matt Ishbia. He's got that whole thing going on with the concession stands too, with the $2 like hot dogs, drinks, and water and all that kind of stuff. Shout out Matt Ishbia. He is doing it right. That's what I want to come on and talk about here today. I do have my questions, though.
Oh, man.
Hey, you.
Who? Me?
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just kind of bored right now.
Do you like sports?
Yeah, I like sports.
How about podcasts?
Yeah, who doesn't listen to a podcast nowadays?
Then you should check out Time Out with J&G. Check out Time Out with J&G every Wednesday as they give their expert opinions and professional picks on NFL, NBA, and college football. Anything you could want, they do. Check it out on the screen now. Let's go.
Whoa, this podcast is awesome. Thanks, weird voice.
The first question comes from Brighton Season. He says, do you think Dyson Daniels can keep up his defensive stats all season? Right now, Dyson Daniels is averaging 3.2 steals, which is leading the entire NBA, and about 1 block a game. I think right now he's an absolute lock for an all-defensive team. It's just going to be about, is he going to be able to get an all-defensive first team because now it's positionless. The bigs are just going to fully dominate that list. And I really do think if the season were to end today, I think Dyson Daniels very much could have a very, very, very good case for all defensive first team. I would personally vote him in if I had the opportunity. Do I think he can keep this up the entire season? Yes, to a degree, right? His role in this team has pretty much been defined. It's been 28 games now. He's still averaging 3.2 steals. I do think he can finish the season at 3. The block a game, I think I think we have enough of a sample size now to say, listen, this is who Dyson Daniels is this season. Does it maybe drop off by like a 0.1, a 0.2, or something like that? Maybe. But I do think at the end of the season, Dyson Daniels is going to be on all defensive first team. You can book it right here. The next question comes from Levi. He says, basically, the Warriors do not have a championship level roster, but they're not bad enough to have a top pick. Which avenue should they go from here? The Warriors right now are 15-13 after a phenomenal start. They are now 3-7 in their last 10 games. They are the 8th seed, so technically they'd be in the play-in if the season ended today. You look at this team, Steph Curry's had a rough past couple games. He's definitely not the Steph Curry of old, but he's still pretty damn good. Draymond Green as well, definitely taking a step back. Jonathan Kuminga has definitely had his flashes, and maybe it's like that's something you would like to keep now. Andrew Wiggins has been pretty good. Buddy Hield, we go through the Buddy Hield cycle every year, and it's really bad right now. Brandon Podziemski has been really, really bad as well. He was untouchable pretty much last year in potential trades for Lauri Markkanen. I'm sure they regret that big time now. Jimmy Butler's a guy that actually, just as I'm recording this, said that he would like to be out of Miami by the February 6th trade deadline. So maybe Jimmy Butler's a guy that goes to the Golden State Warriors. Does it make them championship contenders? No, not in my opinion, because you're probably giving up Andrew Wiggins. You're probably giving up Moses Moody. Maybe you know what I mean? Like, you're going to give up some of your pieces that are playing pretty decently well right now to get a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler that you don't even know if he's going to be here next season. I don't know. And we kind of talked about this on the podcast, some with J&G, I think on last week's episode, maybe it was the week prior, where Jimmy Butler is a very, very strange scenario, or not Jimmy Butler, the Warriors are in a very strange scenario where there's only one timeline in my eyes with the Golden State Warriors. And this is the Steph Curry timeline. You're trying to win Steph Curry at least one more championship before he retires. This whole thing they tried to do the past couple years of like trying to win a championship with Curry, with Klay Thompson, with Andrew Wiggins, with Draymond Green, while trying to develop AirPods, while trying to develop Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Tracy Jackson Davis. It's not working. You have to kind of sell on these younger pieces for veterans that can really help you win now if you want to win. But the problem is, I don't think there's anything out there right now that's going to make you contenders. Being a Steph Curry team, they're not going to sell. It's just not going to happen. But it's like, I don't know what's out there for them to buy right now. Maybe a Valanciunas would help, kind of. Maybe a Jimmy Butler is what you got to do. Maybe like a Jimmy Butler. Maybe a Vucevic, a different type of center there to play next to Draymond Green might help something out. I'm not really sure. In the classic Warrior way, it very much might be a Vucevic is the piece at the trade deadline. They're hoping that's enough. Maybe this is Jimmy Butler. I don't know. The Warriors are in a really, really tough spot. But I appreciate you watching this special Christmas edition of the Cloud Report. I know it wasn't really anything differently, but it's on Christmas Day. So I hope you all are having a very Merry Christmas, a very good holiday again, whatever you celebrate, whatever you don't celebrate. I just hope you have a very, very good day today, and I will see you guys Friday. Peace.